A lot of times on jobs, and a lot of black men have experienced some of this. When you talk about, anti-black racism, a lot of times they want to focus just on what, some who are in the white community is doing. But we also deal with anti-black racism from these other immigrant groups too. And a lot of times, as with these immigrant groups, they come into America, and then when they get a little foothold in something, then they're trying to remove black people out of positions and get their people in. Understand? And I've even seen them, when they get their numbers up, they even go after white folks too, because they really don't like now one of us, but for sure they don't like a lot of us as black men on these jobs. Now, I want you to hear what happened in California to this one brother dealing with these different immigrant groups. And I know in California, they got something special going on, because the thing is, our numbers isn't large in California like that. Maybe we got little pockets, but it's not like it is in the South. You understand? That's why I tell my people is that, come on back to your ancestral homeland, the South, because we got numbers out here, and it's a lot of us here to back you up. But I want to go ahead and play this real quick, and let's talk about it.
Cow Chef Warehouse in Stockton, California. I had a family member get hired through Full Steam Staffing Agency. He was initially hired to be an overseer. He attends a 5 to 6 hour orientation where he learned that he was going to be put into another role. So he shows up the next day, 4:30 in the morning. He finds out that they are going to put him in the freezer. So he was not equipped with the insulated jacket and gloves. He goes to the leadership staff and asks for a jacket and gloves. The managers or supervisor says in Spanish, "We only give a jacket and gloves to full-time permanent employees." Well, one of the Hispanic employees overheard the comment and told my family member exactly what was said. So my family member tried to work in the freezer. He said he felt like his fingers was getting ready to fall off, and he left. But had I known, I would have told him to stay right there, contact OSHA, and it was discrimination. And I'm just here to say, these warehouses that are operated by these Hispanics, and they only hire their kind, when a black man shows up, they know exactly how to exclude him and make him uncomfortable, and they will leave. And that is the plan, is to run them off. I had another friend who went and worked in a warehouse. They had a huddle. And instead of him speaking in Spanish and then in English, he had the huddle in Spanish. And when the huddle was over, turned around and walked off. I think it's jacked up. It's racism. It's discrimination. Y'all know better. You are already in a leadership role and can hire your own kind. To hire one black man or two black men, or however many black men who are showing up to work, you do not have to discriminate and make them so uncomfortable that they leave.
And that right there is why the delineation movement has taken off the way it took off. Because not only we got to deal with the white supremacists, we got to deal with all the other groups that they bring into this country. And discrimination is discrimination. And she's mentioning these particular Latino men in particular. Now, they got one Latino man that was cool, let them know, hey, bro, this is what they're saying about you. So I don't broad stroke brush everybody, because that's just ignorant to do that. But you do have those from Latin America who don't like black folks. Let's call it what it is. Even in Latin America, they don't like even the darker skinned Latinos, who are the indigenous Latinos, right? And in California, there's a lot of Mexicans. So you look at places like Oaxaca, right? You remember Nuri Martinez when she was talking about black people and the Oaxacans, because they're very, very dark skinned, almost dark as we are, indigenous. They don't like that. They have a big issue with colorism in Mexico and all through Latin America. Now, for us as black Americans, we have to stick together and look out for each other. And, these other groups be doing this mess. Maybe we should start doing that too. Looking out for our people, getting them out the paint, and only bringing in black people. Oh, but it'll be a conspiracy. It'll be, let's report them to the federal government and all kinds of things. And we start doing that. We start getting all these other groups out the paint and only bringing in our people. They get to get away with a whole lot of things. Let me tell you what, that sister was right. that was a violation. You can't do that. OSHA. Man, let me tell you something. I remember, a year or so ago, I called OSHA on a business for having the employees working with no proper ventilation and AC and things like that. And OSHA had to respond to me. Now, in the end, they fixed the issue. So citizens could actually call OSHA on the company. You understand? I told them, I was calling OSHA on them. That brother should have called OSHA and should also got civil rights involved with that too. Because I'm telling y'all, this is the administration to call. Because if anything related to a foreigner, please tell the Trump administration they would love to come through there and do a raid and see who got their paperwork and who don't. They got some nerve right now with the Trump administration being in office. But see, the reason why they do that to a lot of y'all is black people, because you don't call the federal government. You don't call OSHA. You don't call ICE. You don't call nobody. Let me tell you something. These other groups have no problem calling the law on you, calling anybody on you. They have no problem doing it. But you still run around with this, I'm not going to say nothing. Man, forget that. You say something. Let me tell you something. You're a citizen of the United States of America. And those agencies are supposed to work for you, not the other way around. And you call OSHA. You don't let nobody put you in no unsafe environment. That would they tell him go in there with no a jacket, no gloves? That's completely unsafe and unlawful. And the company, once OSHA get involved, would fire that guy immediately. You understand? But you don't quit. Let me tell you something else. And I believe the federal government should put a law on this while Trump is in office. All jobs in the United States, the language has to be English. Period. You can speak whatever language you want, but all paperwork, all instruction, everything has to be in English. Period. Because that is the main language of this country, is English. I don't have an issue with nobody speaking whatever language you want, but you're not going to sit up here and have a huddle and speak in a foreign language in our country, and yet we have other workers who may not speak your foreign language. You're coming in our country as a foreigner. We're not going into yours. Now, when we in your country, you speak your language all you want, and they do. They don't cater to us, unless in the tourism area when they want to get your money. They'll cater to you with English and put English all over the place. But if you go in the interior of these people's country, outside the tourist area, they're not catering to you. You better learn the language, or you're gonna have a hard time. Or you better have a translator with you or whatever. I don't know what's so hard or bad about making sure everything is in English. That's foul right there. Because let me tell you something. If you're communicating in a foreign language and you're being because you don't want this other person to know what's up or what they're saying, it could be something that's really a danger thing that you need to inform the crew about, so nothing will happen in the area of safety. And you're up here to say, I'm gonna tell my people, but should forget him. He find out on his own. No. I would not allow that. No, all communication is in English. You can speak 1,000 languages. I don't care. Emails are in English. Communications to the company is in English. Everything is in English here. Period. That's the way it should work. Because, let me tell you something. When another community can force you to speak their language, they're colonizing you. When they can force you to worship their God, they're colonizing you. And I'm sorry, these groups come in this country, they're pushing colonization. They got certain parts in this country, if you don't speak a different language, you're going to have a problem. No, they don't want you to have a problem. And if they don't want to speak the language of this country, then take your happy self to your homeland and where everybody speaks your language. There's no way that somebody should say, I couldn't get a job because I don't speak a foreign language. No, that establishment need to be reported to the federal government. And they need to be sued. And once again, I'm going to say this. Black people, utilize the federal government when these things happen. The reason why it keeps happening to you, because you don't make an example of these other groups. Trust me, they'll love to come on down with that right now. With Trump being in office, you get the Democrats in office, you're going to have a hard time. But with Trump right now and his DOJ and all them people he got right now, oh yeah, that's the ones to call. I wish I would have somebody tell me go in a deep freezer with no jacket and no gloves. Man, you crazy as hell. I was like, no, you going in there. I'm not. That boy, yeah, but black people, we've let these people get away with stuff for way too long. And this is why the delineation movement getting stronger and stronger every single day. We're not tolerating these other groups no more. What they disrespect. But then they'll be saying up here, oh, we discriminated like you and this and that and the third. And I'm like, yeah, but we see what y'all do on these jobs. A lot of black men see this constantly. And and the reason why I say other groups is not focusing just on Latinos, because you've seen Caribbeans do this too. Some Africans have done it too. That's why I say these other groups outside of black Americans. They got this thing when they want to get their people in there and get the Americans out. No, if you don't want Americans around you, well, carry your happy self back to your homeland and have all your people around you. You came over here, but because obviously something wasn't working out for you over there. So get along with Americans. But a lot of them don't want to assimilate to American culture. They don't have to assimilate in their house, but in the general public, yeah, you do have to do some assimilation. And once again, if you don't like it, because why should we as Americans in this country have been 250 years be bowing ourselves and kowtowing to other groups? No. They came over here because they wanted something out of our country. We ain't got to sit up here and change our language and change what we do and all that. Forget that. We are Americans in our country. So we should demand English as our language. We should demand American culture, stay American culture, period. That's just what it is, because these other groups don't change their culture when you go to their country. Trust me, I've been in these other people's countries. They don't change a thing for Americans. Not nothing. And they shouldn't have to, because they're in their country. And we shouldn't be doing that here either. Forget that. So don't put up with no disrespect from these foreign groups, brothers and sisters. Call them folks on them. Call ICE, call OSHA, call anybody else you need to call and get them in line.